Because of my severe allergic reaction to the chemicals in my workplace, I have been cooped up in my room for a couple of days and was feeling entirely down and undecided about the future. When I heard my little brother's girlfriend telling me how wonderful the weather outside was, I immediately got ready and went out, hoping to find some inspiration or maybe motivation. Anything really. While walking along the streets without any prior destination in mind, I saw cherry blossoms, early ones blooming so beautifully. Luckily, I always carry my camera with me, so I took some pretty shots, even if I just wasted them away by stashing them to my computer's memory for no one else but me to see. I thought that was a regretful act. So then and there I decided maybe I should start posting these small insignificant videos without showing my face because of insecurity. And you know what? With that simple decision, I saw many things I took for granted becoming something new to share with everybody. Actually, I've passed this road countless times, and now I see how ingenious Japanese are. On my left side are man-made structures of concrete built to withstand the needs and wants of man. On the other side of the traffic is nature taking root and flourishing over time. My feet lead me to the nearest nature park at my place, Kakitagawa Nature Park. I've always come to this park whenever I need to be inspired. There is something in nature that calls out the creativity in me. I'm not sure if it's the same for you, but I've heard people that have the same love for nature as I do. I bought tea and just sat down. I thought about my previous decision to post videos and dumped all the ideas I could squeeze from my brain into paper and crafted concept after concept within minutes while sipping on my bottled tea and appreciating the beautiful view of nature. After I was done with my brainstorming, I decided to walk around again and gain more ideas from these little things that I have taken for granted before. From nature, of course. The sound of the leaves shuffling with the winds as the branches danced. I could faintly hear water at the background. The road was very well traveled too. It was paved by expert hands knowing curious feet would trample on to see what was waiting at the end. Tall staircases are familiar to me. Japan has made my knees strong for these things. I ensured that my hands was on the handrails because my feet were flat-footed, making my face somewhat familiar with the ground. I came upon the first observatory deck and just looked. I looked at these waters that seemed to bubble up from the bottom. I looked at birds. I looked at shades of greens and browns and all the hues nature could provide. I find myself on another winding road towards the next observatory deck in minutes. The sun was peeking at me wherever I went, glaring at me with noticeable heat. Still, I always become distracted by the sound of the gushing river, and every time I get the chance to peek like the sun, I would do so without any hesitation. Again, I saw stairs behind the gigantic water feature at the park, and when I climbed up, I marveled at the high vantage point it showed me. It definitely made me feel taller, but I would have liked it better if it magically made me taller too. Still, I knew it was a futile endeavor, so I carried on to the next best thing, exploring. I saw these two ojizan cleaning the pool in preparation for summer, because kids will soon begin to play in this area, and loud noises will come abound. As I began my trek down to the second observatory deck, I could see how pretty the red flowers from a large tree littered the ground where it stood. I almost missed a step, distracted by my imagination as an author. This is a beautiful place to set up a picnic for two. The fact that I was behind a sweet couple didn't help my imagination at all. At the observatory deck, the couple made me giggle and happy because of how cute they were. I only stayed briefly at the deck because it became crowded. I did not want to make people nervous by having a foreign girl take pictures and videos of them. I got slightly sidetracked by this bird doing something only God, some experts, and some chosen one knows. The thing that I love about nature parks, aside from the sound of water, are flowering trees. I spent some time admiring the large sakura tree. It was bigger than usual. I double checked my mask because I was allergic to pollen and made sure I bought medicine just in case. On the side of the large sakura tree was a small temple complete with kumainu. These are mythical lion dogs shrine guards who come in pairs and stand at either side of the shrine's entrance. So there's also a drinking fountain in the purifying water basin where you have to wash your hands and your mouth, but I only cleaned one hand. And the main shrine altar where there's a bell attached to a rope and the legendary money box where you toss the coin. I heard some noises at the back, so I returned to exploring because I was too scared to remain calm then. Again, I trekked downwards another flight of stairs and immediately heard my favorite sound, the flowing water. I hurried and immediately captured a small river, but don't worry, there was this wonderfully made path. Waters being framed with lush greens of trees are so picturesque. You can jump one stone at a time if you feel playful enough to do so. I found small water crabs too. My feet hurried into the next thing, my favorite part of this park. This extensive and meandering wooden bridge has a special place in my heart. It's made without disrupting much of nature's growth and showcases the river's beauty without being an eyesore. The best part is when you look up at the trees covering you from the sun's heat, little patches of light peek through. I especially like vines creeping up on the tree trunks which frames this beautiful view. It's a small part of my fantastical dream that's been made real. So, you get why I like this place, right? It's just so peaceful. Continuing on, I found myself having to choose two paths, both of which leads me outside of nature. I took the one road I have yet to go through. Oftentimes, the road less traveled looks scary. Still, you only know if it's actually the shortcut if you take the risk to enter. I'm not as courageous as I think I am. After more than 10 years of living here in Japan, I realized this was the first time I took this road.